Lesson 4. Rest before responsibility. Genesis 2, 1 through 3, Genesis 2, 15, and Genesis 2, 19 through 20. Before Adam worked the garden, before he named the animals, before Eve was created, God rested. And Adam's first day alive was spent inside that rest. That means humanity began from rest, not from rush. Adam's purpose flowed out of God's peace. His assignment didn't start with striving, it started with stillness. Rest was not an afterthought, it was the foundation. God wasn't tired when he rested, he was finished. He paused to enjoy what he made and invited Adam to do the same. So when we talk about rest, we're not talking about laziness. We're talking about alignment, walking in step with the rhythm of God's creation. Rest came before responsibility. Genesis 2, verse 2 through 3 says, "By the seventh day God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done." Before Adam ever started managing, naming, or cultivating, he witnessed God's pause. His first lesson about work came through watching God rest. That means rest isn't something we earn, it's something we're invited into. We rest because God rested. We pause because he showed us how. Imagine starting a new job, and your very first day is a company retreat. No stress, no deadlines, just time to connect with the team and the mission. That's what Adam's first day was like. God didn't throw him into duty, he welcomed him into delight. Rest teaches us that we are human beings, not human doings. The world teaches us to prove our worth through performance, but God establishes a rhythm where identity comes before activity. Adam didn't earn his purpose, he received it. God's presence defined him before his productivity did. Have you ever worked so hard you started to forget why you were doing it? That's what happens when you live out of exhaustion instead of overflow. Rest realigns us. It reminds us that God is the source, not our schedule, paycheck, or platform. You can't hear God's voice clearly when your soul is in survival mode. Rest is where you learn to recognize his whisper again. God blessed rest. He made it holy. God blessed the seventh day, not the busiest day. He made rest sacred. That means it's not optional for spiritual health. It's essential. When we refuse to rest, we are saying my control matters more than God's command. But when we rest, we are declaring, God is enough, even when I pause. After all, your phone needs to recharge to function properly. It can survive for a while without power, but eventually it crashes. Your spirit works the same way. Rest is your recharge time with God. When you disconnect from constant motion, you reconnect with meaning. Rest is not inactivity, it's intimacy. In the garden, rest wasn't about sleeping all day, it was about walking with God in peace. When Adam walked with God in the cool of the day, that was rest, a rhythm of relationship. Rest is not the absence of activity, it's the presence of God's peace. That's why many people can go on vacation and still come home empty, because rest isn't found in a place, it's found in a person. You can binge watch shows for 8 hours and still feel restless. But 15 minutes in God's presence can restore your entire soul. True rest isn't about stopping movement. It's about stopping striving. Rest keeps your purpose healthy. When Adam learned to rest before responsibility, it trained him to work with God instead of for God. If we skip rest, our purpose becomes performance. We begin to build what God never asked for and carry weights He never assigned. Rest refocuses our heart. It prevents burnout and pride because it reminds us I'm a vessel, not the source. Just like a lamp can only shine if it stays plugged in, rest keeps you connected to the source of your light. When you're running on empty, it's not a sign to push harder. It's a signal to return to your foundation. Rest resets your rhythm with creation. God placed Adam in the garden to care for creation, but He also wanted him to learn from it. Every living thing in Eden had a rhythm: day and night, seed time and harvest, work and pause. Rest keeps us in harmony with God's design. It slows us down enough to notice beauty, gratitude, and relationship. Notice how nature obeys rest. The sun sets, the seasons shift, trees shed leaves to prepare for new growth. If creation knows how to rest, why do we resist it? Rest is not weakness, it's wisdom. Rest is the seedbed of revelation. Every major encounter in Scripture happened when someone was still. Moses at the bush, Samuel in the night, Elijah in the cave, John on the island. Adam's rest prepared him to hear, to receive, and to respond. Revelation doesn't come through rushing. It comes through remaining. God doesn't shout over your noise. He waits for your attention. You might be one quiet moment away from the clarity you've been praying for. Rest creates that moment. In summary, God rested first to model His rhythm for us. Rest came before responsibility, identity before activity. Rest is sacred. It's where we realign with God. Rest is intimacy, not idleness. Rest keeps your purpose healthy and your focus clear. Rest connects you to creation's rhythm. And rest positions you for revelation. When we learn to rest with God, we learn to work from God, not apart from Him. Some reflective questions you can ask are: first, do you treat rest as optional or as sacred? Second, have I been defining my worth by what I do instead of who I am in God? Third, what rhythms in my life need to change so I can experience true rest? Fourth, when was the last time I paused to enjoy what God has already done instead of rushing to do more? And fifth, have I confused rest with laziness, or do I understand it as connection with God?